Welcome back to Connecticut Newsmakers, everybody, and on part 3 of the program today, as we kind of continue on this theme today of jobs and what's going on here in the state, energy and so forth, some of the needs we have here. Our guest is Paul Murphy, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Sterling Machine Company in Enfield, and is also the Vice President of Aerospace Components Manufacturers. Paul, thanks so much for coming in and joining us on our program today. What is ACM?
ACM is the Aerospace Component Manufacturers, and it's a cluster group of manufacturing companies, mostly all aerospace, in the state and a little bit in southern part of Massachusetts, who got together back in '99 to understand that with the globalization of our industry, how we needed to work better together to stay competitive with our industry. So we work on a lot of the issues as far as business development. Probably one of the biggest drivers right now in our group is workforce development, getting that next generation of workforce ready for the demands that we have now and shall have going forward.
You know, of course, the bad news over the past couple of weeks had to do with Boeing not getting a contract, a huge contract out there that would have meant all the engines being built for that aircraft by Pratt & Whitney. Is that the kind of thing that you're talking about here? I mean, to try and be more competitive in that area, or what are we saying here?
Well, yeah, I think that all comes into play, but as we look at, everyone's heard some jobs going overseas and things of that nature, the technology we have is still the best in the world. Our challenge is to meet the demands of the customer. Aerospace is growing right now, it's not shrinking. A lot of our industry is very vibrant. We're losing some opportunities today strictly because we don't have the skilled workforce ready to meet those challenges. I can see it only getting worse before it gets better. So part of the ACM and their workforce development is to come up with a pilot program that we've worked with some of the community colleges to get kids in middle school, high school acclimated and change the perception of what manufacturing actually is in this state. How important is the state? Because it's the perception that they have is definitely not where our industry is today.
What specifically, we're talking about these kind of jobs, what are we talking about here?
Well, I mean, in manufacturing, there's a multitude of jobs. We have lawyers, accountants, machinists, engineers, technicians, assemblers. So, our industry is widespread in the opportunities that there, and they're viable career opportunities. They're not really jobs. They're very high-paying jobs, very technical. Years back, manufacturing was always thought as very hands-on. Today, I think we develop our people, and the skill sets we're looking for is more what they can contribute with their initiatives and innovations, as well as with their hands. So we're looking to develop machinists who understand blueprint reading, geometrical tolerancing, those type of venues to help our type of businesses become more competitive. That will be our competitive advantage over other people in the marketplace. We need to keep advancing those people.
Now, are we educating people in these careers here in the state?
Not fast enough. I think a lot of that, going back to, I think, is the perception of the industry. Manufacturing is dying, it's moving. It's not true. A lot of that does move overseas, but when we're talking about aerospace manufacturing and the high technology that we have centered here in Connecticut, those jobs are going to stay, and they're going to stay for a while. Our challenge in keeping them here is becoming more valuable, and more valuable is through cost competitiveness and all the innovative things we need to do. And the only way for us to accomplish that is through a highly skilled and flexible workforce. So the challenge is us to develop that next wave. Our average age is, I don't have the exact figure, but it's probably about 50 years old.
Right.
We need to get that pipeline rebuilt.
Now, is it the fact that young people are not looking at that as a career, they're going someplace else, or maybe it's too difficult, it's difficult work, you have to be well-trained, and maybe they don't feel they have the capability of doing that? Why aren't we getting these people in there?
I think, once again, it goes back to perception. They don't understand really what our industry is. Their perceptions may be based on their parents or from years ago where, factories were dirty, unclean. That's just totally untrue these days. My facility in Enfield, Connecticut, Sterling Machine, we're ISO 14001, which is environmental health and safety. We are good citizens to the environment. We have very clean workspaces. I do know a lot of parents that I've talked to and children that have come through our facility. When they got done with the tour, it was like, I never realized this is what today's manufacturing was. It's so different than what their perceptions are. So I think our real challenge is getting into the educators, the superintendents, the guidance counselors, and of course the parents, and letting them understand that, college is a great thing, but it's not for maybe everybody. What we're doing right now with other companies in the ACM is sponsoring scholarships, where we pay for full college tuition, books, fees, everything, and also give them an internship. This way we're paying for their education, and they're also coming to intern us to learn how to introduce themselves into the workplace. So we're starting to ready our future state workforce by doing that.
You know, Paul, this seems like a win-win situation for everybody. Actually, win-win-win. Win for a company like yours,
Absolutely.
win for the state of Connecticut, and certainly a win for the individual who's getting this particular job. So that's the way you see it. Getting into the schools, let the guidance counselors and the superintendents and the teachers know that, look, this is what's out there. This is good, clean work, well-paying jobs. That's really going to be the onus that you're going to have to deal with. Is that right?
I agree with that 100%, yes. It's, they're careers. They're, you know, I wouldn't consider them jobs. They're very valuable careers.
Right.
Because what we do with our people is we continually train them. We're bringing in professors for our incumbent workforce and having them go to college courses. This is our competitive advantage. If we stay stagnant, we will die. You know, so we have to stay up with the technology. We have to stay up with the demands of our customer, which is advancing through our workforce.
And obviously, we don't want the foreign companies to eat our lunch in this regard either, because
No.
you know, we have a lot at stake here.
We all, yes.
Paul, thanks so much for coming in and being with us on our program. Good job, and all the best down the road.
My great
Appreciate your
pleasure.
time. Paul Murphy, our guest on this segment of the program. That's it, folks, for this week. I'm Tom Monahan. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next Sunday on Connecticut Newsmaker.